That's all right. So who's here? Who's watching? Say hello. There's 6 of you. There's 6 of you. There's 7 of you. What an exciting time. What a time to be alive. You know, I try and is this dead? It doesn't matter. It's fine. Now there's 6 of you. See, my audio things made you turn away, made you shun me. Something like that. It is yeah. How are you? No sound. Paul, how about now? Do we have sound now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Well, Mike can hear me because he said me when I said who's watching. So I'm going to hope that you can hear me, right? I need somebody to say yes. Or I need somebody to say no. It's better, says Mike. Dave says, hey, John. Hey, David. I don't know. This is, I woke up like this. All right. I'm glad that people can hear me because, well, it's, kind of the whole point of this. What really is the whole point of this? I think the whole point of this is for me to, a few things. One, maybe share some business stuff that's happening, some things that you may or may not be interested in. 2, to engage with you. I do enjoy that a lot, actually. And 3, this is really a space for me to just yammer on about whatever. And, if you've watched this long enough, you know that I do and will. So, Mr. Moran, I owe you an email. I owe a fair amount of people some email. I'm usually much better at my email correspondence. I hate to say NAMM got in the way of things, but this project really, I started working on this in September. I started the paint process of this in September, and it really eclipsed everything. Especially, it just really eclipsed everything. So I do owe a few people some email that I will try and get taken care of this weekend. I've already been to the shop, and then I've returned. Clearly, I'm here. I can tell you about it, but I don't want to because I want to make the thing and then share the thing. So let's see. Mrs. Ellie had early morning lessons. For those who know and for those who don't know, Mrs. Ellie is a figure skating coach. She has skated for most of her life. She started when she was 11 and skated professionally, toured the world in the ice capades, and then became a coach. And so she had some early lessons, and then she's coming home. She should be home, I don't know, pretty soon. And then we're going to go for a walk because we do that in the mornings, which is nice. And then she's got some other stuff. So then she's going back. So then I will go back to the shop and continue my work on this project that I'm not telling you about. But one thing that I will tell you about that I posted maybe a handful of pictures of yesterday, or maybe it was this morning. I don't know. I don't know my life. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what day it is. I definitely don't know the date. I know that it is sometime in mid-late February. How can someone kind of exist in this capacity? You may wonder. That's a great question. One that I hope to know the answer myself. But yeah, so the stuff that I shared yesterday, I have a client, which is great. And he had asked if I was open to doing a baritone 71 trello. Absolutely. I'm super down to make baritones out of any of our models. Um, and, it takes a fair amount of R&D because you have to look at where neck joins the body and, maybe make the body a little larger and maybe change some things. And um, so far I've enjoyed that process, which is good. Um, and so there was some specific things for this build that so it's a 71 trellis baritone, 27 scale, 24 fret, and a Floyd. So uh, that's kind of bonkers, because like one of the things that I really like about baritones is I love where they sit sonically. If you think of an electric guitar as like a cello, I would say if you say an electric guitar is like a violin, or a viola or whatever. Don't come at me. I would think a baritone is like a cello, and it's very powerful sounding. And I don't mean like oh fuck yeah, run away, but also in that kind of way. But like a baritone acoustic sounds insanely cool. And oh, he's here. Chad, did you get the email I sent you with all the pictures? And so there were some things that I had to sort out. Specifically like, what's this thing going to look like? And Piccolo bass. That's your nickname. Man, we've got like a chorus of Chads here. We've got Chad Ashley. We've got Chad Peplinski. We've got, wait. I could have sworn I saw another Chad in here. Okay, maybe just two. Maybe just two. I think, a duet of Chads. That's fine. That's great. I'm here for it. So I had to redesign this thing, but it had to still look like it's supposed to, right? And the other little wrinkle is like, so a 71 trellis, because it's got a carved top, it's got a neck angle. And one of the nice things about having pickup rings, specifically in the neck pickup position, is if you you tilt the neck and you've got like your little gap between like where the fretboard ends and then where the neck pickup starts, and you've got your ring that can kind of, if they're not like dead straight with each other because of the angle, or not dead straight, that's not the term I'm looking for, but like whatever, you got a pickup ring. But my man Chad's like, hey, I don't want no pickup rings. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing. And so what I like to do is, because I am not good at math at all, terrible at math. I've talked about this a lot. I am really, really bad at math. I'm the worst. As bad as you think, oh, how bad could it be? He does math all day long. I know, I'm real bad at it. So I have things in place to help me with these math tasks. And so one of the things that I like to do, with something like this, we'll make the neck first. So that's easy enough. And then what I like to do, instead of trashing a body blank, because maybe your math isn't great, or if you need to kind of test a few locations of something, I've got this foam that machines really well, and it's great. So that was on Thursday. I we're doing the foam test. I did it on this baritone, and then this other project that I'm not telling you about. And I got it all dialed in. And so I'm really stoked about that. And then, so, I yesterday morning, I went in and I'm like, we're fucking making this body. Let's fucking do it. So I did. There was a lot of things that have to be done, to get like the blanks fly cut and all that stuff. And there was like other things I had to do in the morning. And one of the things that I always tell the guys is like, please don't let me start like machining a new body or something at like 2 p.m, especially something that's got a carb top or something that's got like a top that's got to be glued on. Don't let me do this. Don't let me start this at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because it takes a long time. The machine that I have, I am happy with. It is not the fastest machine in the world, which is fine. But to do like a 71 Trella, once we get like the body's fly cut, which that in and of itself can take enough time, because those like a blank, like a body blank would be like 2 inches thick. And then for a Trella, I got to get it down to like 1 3/8. And you can only take off so much with a fly cutter. And so it's a process. And then you get the thing glued on, and then it's got to sit for like at least an hour, and then you can move forward. But like the top carve process generally takes about an hour. So you see where I'm going. So like I did this. I got the body glued up at 3:11 p.m. And I remember I texted Kyle and I'm like, hey, 3:11, it's got to count for something. I'm not a 3:11 fan, but Kyle seems to appreciate 3:11 and whatever. So that's fine. And so, yeah, so I got out of the clamps or out of the vacuum bag and back on the table. And did it really take? Yeah, I left it like 8. I left at 8 p.m. Now, I wasn't machining straight all the way until 8 p.m., but the body was done. And then I'm like, I did my foam test with the geometry and made sure that like the neck sits in and the pickup cavity, the neck pickup cavity lines up exactly where like the end of the fretboard is on the neck. And I'm like, that might even be like my favorite part of the build, because like planning for that it has been challenging. And that's anyway. So we got the thing done while the top was being carved, or while some of the machining was going on. I got frets in the neck, and then when it was all done, I'm like, I can't not put this neck in this body right now. I absolutely have to. So I kind of got that all ready to go, and I'm like, holy shit, it works. It's really a thing. This is super, super awesome. Yeah, I couldn't fucking be happier with it. And that's a really, really nice thing. I love what I do. It doesn't always love me back. And there are builds that I don't want to say help me grow as a person, because I don't necessarily mean that, but like I do work in a creative field, but I don't always feel like I don't always feel like I get to be very creative, which is crazy, because like that, and I talked about this last week, which I had like huge fucking feelings about the whole process. And I really need to like write this down and get this out. But yeah, so I got this baritone done, the machining, and yeah, it's made me stupidly happy, because it worked. And not just the machining part of it, that is another part of it, but also just like, designing the thing so it still looks right, not like, I mean, it's a 27 scale, so it's going to be longer, because I needed to make sure that we maintained the same upper fret access that we love about the 71. It has excellent upper fret access, and it's as if it was designed by a guy that plays guitar and tries to get past the 12th fret. And so yeah, so it's a little bit longer, but and like the body's a little bit larger, and I'm like, this is kind of, it's like a thing. So I'm super, super, super fucking happy about it, which means, well, no, it doesn't mean anything. It just means I'm super fucking happy about it. So I'm super stoked. So that was, so it was yesterday. Yesterday was what? Friday. Yes. And then was it Thursday that Alyssa Liu won gold? I think so. Again, I am really bad with days of the week. Like, I know, yeah, I'm really bad with days of the week. I'm really bad with the date. But time is really an abstract concept for me, which is very strange, because like the other thing too is like, I absolutely cannot stand being late. Like I get real stressed out if I'm like running late somewhere. So it's like, it's kind of a strange thing, but then again, so am I. So Alyssa Liu winning gold, and her doing so well at nationals. So this is, we are a figure skating house, and Alyssa Liu skated for, she's like 20 or something like that, but she was she made it to the Olympics in 22, and then just kind of walked away from the sport, like a lot of skaters do, because it's hell on your body. It's hell on your, it can be hell on your mind. There are a lot of aspects of figure skating that is ugly. That's all. And to see Alyssa, like whatever, and like, I'm not her biographer or anything like that. And this information that I have is things that Mrs. Sully and I have talked about over like these last couple months, since nationals and stuff. And how, so she kind of walked away, like a lot of skaters do, but came back, but did it on her own terms, in that she picks her own music. She picks I think she does her own choreography. She picks what she wears. She picks her coaches. She's going to eat whatever she fucking wants. She's going to train, but she's not going to train herself to death. And granted, a lot of, before she got to this point, she's done years of pre-work. It's not like you can start something new and say, I'm going to do it for as long as I want to. Although, maybe you can. But, to kind of come back, and she's like, I don't need the accolades. I don't give a shit. I'm just doing this because this makes me happy. And her skate that she won gold on is such an example of that. Like I've got huge feelings about this. It's weird. It's something that I've been thinking about for the past couple days, because like if you see the pictures from her skate, I'll draw a parallel with I'll draw a parallel with Eddie Van Halen. Tons of photos and videos of him where he's playing and he's just smiling his face off. And he's just ripping and just performing at such a high level where he's not even thinking about it, and it's just joyous. And that's what her skate is like. Yeah, good for her. I think, I would say that, morning. I would say that, Can't imagine going that fast. Oh my god! Like, do you ever watch any of the downhill skiers? Like, they're going like 60 to 80 miles an hour. What? I think you have, I'd say a lot of hard work um, takes you really far, and she's definitely put in the hours. Um, but to see that performance, and to also kind of just see people kind of talk about it and enjoying it, uh, has been really joyous for me in a really, really neat kind of way. Because quite frankly, I think it's needed. Um, Examples of this. And not only is she, such a huge personality, she makes space for others. And it's just incredible. Um, and it's really stuck with me. And so this, her quote, that some people are all clutching pearls, or, after she finished, she's on the ice and, cameras got her right in her face. And she's like, that's what I'm fucking talking about. And it's like, yeah, you just watch it. It's just nothing but joy. And she's having like the best time. And she's performing at such an insanely high level. It was just incredible. It's just incredible. And it's something that um, has really given me a lot of joy um, since then. So, like, what does Alyssa have to do with guitar building? Well, it's reminded me to try and find these moments that lead to some joy. And it doesn't always happen. And I think it's kind of, perfect timing right now, where as I was working on this project that I'm super fucking excited about, and this other one that were happening at the same time. And usually I had to, another kind of design thing that you'll see in the near future. But it was this idea that there are some ties to ideas that I've had for a long time that haven't gotten around to. Like my NAMM guitars had some paint jobs that were ideas that I've had for like 20 years. Something as silly as painting an Alita to look like the A-Team van was something that I've wanted to do since 2003. And the Swatch guitar, that was something that I've wanted to do for about the same amount of time. And, we'll do more of those. Maybe not the same pattern, because let's do some other ones. But so those things, and like the stuff I had at NAMM was very much, couldn't be more me. And it's kind of nice. So kind of coming off of that and then seeing this, it's not like I can change everything in my life to be like, I'm only doing things that bring me joy. I mean, I don't think that's realistic, but it's been really cool. Oh, well, hey, thanks for saying hi. And you can always watch the replay, kids. So yeah, this thing that I'm working on right now that is in the vacuum bag. I quoted. I do this often. I'll write something either under the pick guard, or not pick guard, under the fretboard before it gets glued onto a neck, or maybe on a neck heel before it gets glued into a body, or like if a body's going to have like a top glued on it, I'll put something, there. Sometimes I do all of that. Sometimes I do none of it. But yeah, I had to quote her with that's what I'm fucking talking about. So yeah, I think that that particular guitar, it's gonna have to be painted champagne sparkle, right? Because I love that finish, and it's sparkly, and she won gold, and her dress was kind of champagne colored, so I think that's kind of working itself out. Who knows? Things can change before then, but I am all of this to say that I'm having a really nice week, or at least, and that's nice. Next week, if you ever made a guitar that maybe want to pull off a triple axel, I think so. Yeah. There have been some that have been an absolute pleasure. There are some, what's funny, the ones that we do just kind of quick and dirty turn out to be monsters, which is kind of strange. But yeah, I have, and that's nice. Some are just, we're making the thing, and it's everything it's supposed to be. Some guitars I'm still mad at, but they are how they're supposed to be, but I'm still maybe not on speaking terms with them, and maybe I never will. And then there are ones where I'm just like, man, this thing was a blast and it fucking rips. So that happens. Yes, that is one way to say that. She's got the stripes. Hey, EJ. Let's see. Jake and I watch skiing. Jai Slong. Yeah, it's insane. They go so fast. What else? Yeah, I think I heard the garage door open, which means Mrs. Sully is about to make her entrance, which is cool. So yeah, I really encourage you. And also Amber Glenn was one of the other skaters. She's from this area, and Mrs. Sully's known her and her original coaches, and I'm glad she got away from those guys. But yeah, it's been cool to watch. Hello.
Hola.
How are you?
Bonjour.
Bonjour, ça va?
Bon.
Hein? Parfait. Yeah. So speaking in French, I'm going to be doing a fair amount of that. I think in about a week or a week and a half. We are gonna go to the Paris Guitar Festival. I was gonna be as an exhibitor, but like I was on a wait list, and then I got in, but the space that I would be taking wasn't really what wouldn't necessarily be the best for what we want to do. And the nice thing is that the people that I'm going to meet with and do some interviews and stuff, I'm going to be able to accomplish all of that without having to. We're going to accomplish all of that, so that's cool, and I'm stoked about that. There are some guitars of mine that are over there that are going to be. They won't be like on display at the show, but there's a magazine that will be doing some demos of some of my guitars, which is super cool. I'm happy about that, and it'll be really cool. It'll be really, really great to go back. I've missed it every single day since I've returned. Yeah, so it'll be neat to kind of be there in an official business capacity. Although it'll be, the 2 times I've been there, my guitars have been there too. So that's cool. Let's see. It's kind of like NASCAR. You watch for the wrecks. I don't want anyone to get hurt. I don't know what we watch for the wrecks. I understand the NASCAR, but I don't know what you're referring to. Was it skiing? But yeah, I don't want to get hurt. I don't really watch stuff for that. I do like seeing people do really, really, really well. Oh, I don't think I'm there yet. Yeah, definitely not there yet. Working on it, but I'm not there yet. So that's going to happen, and yeah, oh, okay, yes. Matt says yes, skiing. I felt so bad for the one dude, and I don't even remember the event, but like, I guess he was doing really well, and then his second run, something happened, and he just like whipped his poles and just like walked off of the mountain. Like, oh, dude, we've all felt that. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got. Yeah. Do we have any? So anyway, I'm really just kind of here to say hi, and there are some really neat guitars in process right now. Um, the baritone's been a blast. There's a 12-string Stardust that will be moving along. Um, Very cool. That I'm looking forward to moving it along. I'm not looking forward to stringing it up. I'm not looking forward to tuning it. I'm not looking forward to intonating it. But when all of those things are done, I'm just gonna sit and strum G chords for a moment, and then we'll send it home. So I'm looking forward to that, because like I can't imagine I'll ever make another one, but we're making this one, and it's gonna be super dope. What else? I think that's kind of it. There are, I hate to sound like the person that posted, oh, big things coming. Watch this space, but there are some things we're going to be rolling out over the next few months, maybe late spring, and I hope you like them. I hope you buy them, but it'll be cool. Andrew, what was the inspiration behind the white guitar behind me? Well, oh, hold that thought, Andrew. I will get you right there. Aaron, the first two batches. Sorry, so I've spoken with the owner of the factory. Friday, Monday, Tuesday, I will have a progress update on all of them. I know the first two batches are about to be finished because I've seen paint and stuff like that, so we should be close to assembly. The batch yours is in, I don't remember right this second, just because I have all this stuff in a file, so I don't have to remember it. But I will have an update on where all of the Conspiracy Series customs are in the production state. So Andrew, it was I was asked to do to be part of an art installation in the Boutique Guitar Showcase at NAMM, and the idea was I wanted to do a guitar that looked kind of like an empty coloring book. Because if you think of like, you get a guitar, sometimes you find like a used guitar and it's got a vibe to it. It feels like it's had a life, which is interesting because it's an inanimate object. It's an inanimate object. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. But you could think of it as like an empty vessel that you kind of put yourself into. And so I wanted to make it look like a cartoon. And I'll take it down in a second. But part of it was also I wanted to, like the guitar was also going to have to live like in an environment, a diorama, if you will. And I think you will. So I painted the diorama to be like a living room in an empty coloring book. And there are like I drew my couch, and then there's like a little cat, and then there's some artwork based on some stuff that's in my house or stuff that I've seen. Um, and then because the back looks so good, like I had to make it kind of rotate. So then that was like, I'm gonna make this spin. Disco ball mirror. So we got a disco ball mirror. But anyway, I will show you all of this right now. So we'll start with the headstock. So like drawing that logo was a source of stress. I mean, all of this was easily the most stressful thing I've ever done. Those inlays are drawn on, and I didn't paint the pickups because I couldn't get it to adhere. Here, so we've got that. The bridge and the locking nut were powder coated white, and then I painted it. I did, the black lines, and then clear coated it, and then painted the knobs, and then make sure I get the shadows on the switch tip. And then I just kind of, as I was doing this, I would make these little dots and kind of like Morse code kind of things. And like, they don't symbolize anything. And I know it's not really part of this particular style or like stuff like this, but like, I also just don't care. It was really just about just creating this. I wound up painting this about 3 times, I think, because like some shading, like I didn't really like I did like a test version. But when I went to do this, like certain things wouldn't come out or didn't come out the way I wanted. So then we've got the back, and I had this hanging in a booth with lights, and then I would just kind of like draw like where the shadows kind of fell, and where they stopped. And and then I kind of started with like the little dots here, like a pointillism kind of style. And I just tried to have fun with it, as best as I could. It was, like I said, very stressful, especially like drawing the binding, drawing around curves, drawing these lines on the back of the neck. I used rulers for some of it, and like the logo, I lasered a stencil for the headstock so I could kind of get the binding line and then the logo itself. But like, I couldn't get the paint pen. It was a fine point paint pen, but like it was still too big to get into the stencil. So like I've got like a mechanical pencil kind of like coloring it in, and then I'm just like inking over it like you do with like comic work. And it was really stressful because like when I was kind of going through the planning stage, I'm like, well, what do I do with the logo? Do I just sign my name on it, which is what the logo is. But I'm like, no, with branding, it's gotta be the logo, but it's gotta look like it's drawn. So the inlays or the side dots, sorry, they're not, this isn't really focusing. It's all drawn on. You got the tuners. This is, so I did clear coat it, but like painting metal, it's not the most durable thing. I mean, like this is a completely playable guitar. If I, if I wasn't worried about that, I wouldn't have sweated the frets. Just doing the fret work was this whole process was like, don't fuck it up. But then you fucked it up, and now you gotta fix it. Yeah. Thank you. Johnny, good morning. Thank you. They are. I got them specifically for this because it needed black strings. I don't like them. But because as soon as I strung it up, and even just just tuning, like the stuff comes off. So yeah, I don't I don't like their coded like color strings. Those are the only ones that I've really ever played that I really remember. I just really don't like the feel of it. It's kind of as if it feels like it's like beer battered guitar strings. I didn't. Thank you. I love how this came out. I really, really do. And I talk about having big feelings about this because, like, I spent my life drawing, and that model started as a pencil sketch, and thank you. Fine point pen, fine point paint pen, fine point paint pen. Yeah, it's tough. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, going back to when I was talking about, well, I work in a creative field, it doesn't always feel very creative. But that project started with a pencil sketch, and I hope I still have it. I know I scanned it because I had to submit it for consideration. And so I've just drawn all my life and stopped really, and so kind of getting back to that has been really nice. I know when I've visited, museums and stuff and look at artwork, and, there's always been a part of me that's always like, man, I really wish I would have stuck with that or done that more. Not to say that I could be as talented as some, but, just to have that, and to just feel, just to kind of feel that. And so, I do get, there are things that have been incorporated into some of my guitars that were inspired by things I've seen in art galleries. So that's nice. But to kind of do my own version, and to kind of mix these two things together, to do that style specifically on a body shape that started its life as a pencil sketch, was really neat. It was, like I said, it was incredibly stressful, and I'll never not say it was incredibly stressful. There was a part of me that when I submitted my application that I was 50-50. I hope I got picked, but I was also hoping that I wouldn't get picked, because if I got picked, then I'm going to have to make this thing, and I'm going to have to actually do this project, and I'm going to have to pull it out of my brain and make it real. And it was a very daunting things. But when it was all done, it's like, and it's got the Chicago flag graphic on it, because that is something that I've done a few times on some guitars. On a very early one that I did, back when I was still spraying in the garage, which is just over there. So a lot of that project has elements of things that have been with me forever. So it's been nice to do that, and it blows my mind. I was thinking about this, that the design of the 71, it turns 15 this year, and that's nuts. I mean, it feels like 15 years. It feels like my whole life. It feels like it hasn't been very long at all. But it's nice that it slowly gets accepted. It's, shape's not for everybody, and that's fine. It was for me, and that was the intent. Let's see. Tom's got some good questions. How many of the other models? How do many of the other models start out? It depends. So the 71 was definitely a pencil sketch, and then I lived with it to the point long enough where I had to make some templates out of MDF, and then I lived with those for a little bit, made some changes, and like one of the last bits was kind of deciding what I want that cutaway to look like. And so so the Stardust came from that design. What I wanted to do was to take that and to turn it into like an offset that would maybe appeal to like jazz master players without me, or fans of like offset guitars, without me having to make a jazz master, because I really don't like jazz masters. There's a bunch of guitars that I really don't like. I can be really, really, really negative when it comes to like guitar designs and stuff, but then I also remind myself, I'm like, well, things are created. A lot of things are creative out of dissatisfaction, and it's not to say that the thing that you're dissatisfied is bad, because millions of people enjoy those things, but they're just not right for me, and I have another idea. So like when somebody says, well, I'd love to see your take on whatever, if I haven't done it, I'm probably not going to, because like I don't really have a take on it. Like an ML, that's one that's often suggested, and like Dean aesthetics are not it as far as I'm concerned. I really don't like them in any capacity whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, we've got a star shape, but within the supernova, that's as close as I'm going to get. But so the Stardust, that was not a pencil sketch, that was done digitally, where we took that and kind of split it in quadrants and like flipped the lower half and then softened the point, and then took the waist and then kind of went yoink, and then kept the cutaway. So then like the Alita, that was a pencil sketch on like a body blank, and then I cut it out. And then I remember Adam came over while I was working on that, and I really wanted to like make sure it had great fret access. And so I would keep going to the bandsaw, and then I, rough cut it out bits, and then stick a neck in it, and then I'd like hand it to him, like, you kind of pretend, you're kind of getting up there. And so and then so like the Supernova is an Alita with a little chunk bit out of it. Raven, I don't think the redesign of that was not a pencil sketch. I did do the redesign in CAD. Same for the Astro. Concord, same for that, was done in CAD. So yeah, there's not a ton that started out as pencil sketches, but that one definitely did. It is. Draw hot rise. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I did a lot of that stuff too. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. The airline designs. Yeah, it would probably be more beneficial to me from a financial standpoint if I was more open to those designs, or had that kind of like natural like 60s quirky art style. I just don't. Yeah, no, I'm not foreshadowing. But yeah, that would be good. Like if I actually did. Like my first electric was this Maxotone, kind of like a Strat style, but it was a very 60s Japanese. It was in the Matsumoto factory. That kind of aesthetic. And there's been some times when I've thought about like, it's like that guitar used to belong to my Uncle John, and I got that, and that was my first electric when I was about 12. And there have been, and like after my Uncle John passed away, I thought like maybe it would be cool to kind of like, do that, but like it's so not in line with the rest of the lineup that it's not something that would happen within Sully Guitars. Yeah, and also like I don't need to add more models. Hey man, that's okay. You can rewatch it. Yeah, for the most part, yeah. But I'm glad you liked it. I use Rhinoceros. Yes, for sure. For sure. Let's see. God, there was something else I was going to share, but I don't remember. No, mustn't have been all that important. If anybody has any questions, we'll turn it over to the floor. No, nobody's got any questions? Fine. Is there anything here else I can show you? I don't think so. Yeah. No. Okay. All right. Well, that's it. I'm gonna go. I hope that you have a really good weekend. You know what? I hope you have, as my friend Mike Squire says, I hope you have the life you deserve. You can take that. A lot of people go like, "Oh, that's rude." Like, well, why do you think you deserve? Oh, it felt like Ted Knight. Danny, are you my friend? Anyway, that's that. Oh, do I use milk and sugar? Black coffee? No sugar, just milk. I'm sweet enough as it is. Yeah, I just, I made the one for NAMM 2019, and then I made another one that was just black sparkle and did not have a painted fretboard, which is absolutely the way to go. Then with, Ace passing, I just made one for the show. It's not going to be, a model. I'm not saying I'll never make another one, but they are very difficult to deal with, especially with the painted fretboard. I talk about this being stressful. Doing fretwork on a painted, clear-coated, super shiny fretboard I just don't enjoy it. So it's like one of the reasons why I don't do repair work. I don't want to work on someone else's guitar because with what I do, if, something wrong happens, I can usually sand it out, can't always do that. So anyway, that's that. I will talk to you another time. Maybe I'll do something from the Paris Guitar Festival. I would like to. I think there's a good chance that we will. So, hey man, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm trying. There's gotta be a way to like, how do you train yourself to like know if I'm going to gesture to this or gesture to this? I'm never going to get that job. All right. I will talk to you later. Thank you for watching. Go and watch Alyssa Liu's gold medal skate. Just do it. It's, even if you don't like figure skating, it's just fucking joyous because it is think of it as like Eddie Van Halen just being him, or like Jordan in the 90s. I was lucky enough to be able to enjoy that. I remember, there was one just fucking 3-pointer and it just goes right in. He's like, he's just out there performing at his best. And Alyssa is just out there, like she's got her hair, just chucks her hair in a ponytail. A lot of like, skaters, like your hair is like pulled back tightly because like you don't want it to be a distraction and stuff like that. And she's just like, I got a little thing, I'll just do this and I'll just go and skate and do this real quick. And it was just fucking glorious. Please just watch it. I will